Welcome back. It's been a while. 2 months, something like that. Whatever it's been. Posted the last video. I actually just wrapped up the last video and you're just now seeing this. I'm continuing to record because I finally got out of my little lazy spell, if you will. I guess I've just been busy. Some of my friends refuse to allow me to use the word lazy since they know I'm constantly moving, so I appreciate it for those of you that have said that, but I have been feeling lazy. And I've been feeling lazy because by the time I'm done working on computers in general all fucking day, my brain hurts. I have a lot of patience for people. I kind of have to, but I run out of patience. So because of that, is what it is. But I feel like my pups right here, just hanging out. Anyways, today's goal is to finally bust open that thermal take case and see if it's going to work for us. So let's get right into that. Alright, so I wasn't really sure what the height was, but I figured we'd get the table on here, which means, I guess, I could be comfortable. Pull up my chair. Why not? We're trying something a little different here, and we're using my build table for once. I cleared it all off after, and so I have successfully unboxed our thermal take exterior case. Why in the world can't I remember the name? The Core P3. This is the exact same case that is actually up on the wall right here. However, the one up on the wall is their very first core. I think it's called the P5 though, which is their largest one that they made. And I did modify that one pretty damn heavy just to accommodate the way that I have my liquid cooling on there. So the thought was, if we use this guy, we've already got our Versa mounts and the strength that we need built into it. So it kind of eliminates me having to build up the back of a custom cut plate. Now, that's not completely ruled off. I figured, hey, this is $100. There's a lot of detailing into this already. Most of this all over here is cut out already. So what we're looking for is whether or not, and I can tell you right now, this is already looking good. Yeah, I mean, damn, it's nearly perfect. I literally would only have to saw off very minimal here and still have the support I need to maintain mounting this. So this is looking great, kind of just how I expected. Now, what we need to find out is from the system sitting on the test bench right now, the new system itself, where would that fit here and how can we get it to align? And then what that also means is that I would take a tap and I will custom tap where the new motherboard mounts will actually be. So we will not be using the already provided ATX. This one actually does IATX, it says it right here. I don't think you can see it from there, but IATX, standard ATX, and micro ATX. So this thing's already pretty well accommodated. This is a great case. That was my GoPro. I don't know why it powered off. I guess it didn't finish charging last night. That's how I was doing the time lapse when I was unboxing for you guys. But anyways, this is a great case overall. I've been very, very happy with the P5. We're just gonna say that. If I mess it up, I'll correct it here on the screen. If not, good to go. So we need to pull over the motherboard from the main unit, take a look, kind of line everything up and see. Because the cost of this was actually minimal, I'm not worried about damaging it. We are going to make some serious cuts and modifications to it to get it to where we want. Looking at the way that this is sitting though right now, I don't think I'm gonna cut or do that much, honestly. What I need to figure out is whether or not I'm gonna end up trying to recess it in so it's flush with this right here, or if I will actually let it sit on its block. So as of right now with the water pump back here, it appears that there are some, looks like SSD drives, some 2.5 drives can actually be mounted here in the center now, which is pretty interesting. So I'm obviously guessing that's for people that wouldn't be using a radiator, or maybe using a radiator. I know that the radiators are now supported in a side faction on here with those, there's these large bars that I left in the box that come off that you might be able to see on mine, and that's supposed to hold the plexiglass But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put the feet on so this thing can stand up. Actually, we are not. I need to have it laying down right now. Scratch that. We're not gonna do that. Let's just, I'm gonna ramble forever. There's no reason for me to ramble. Let's just do shit. I'm gonna do shit. That's what I'm gonna do. Pro tip, always use containers. Keep your screws so you don't lose things. It just always saves your gas. If I remember, this should slide to the left or the right unless they change the design. Yep, slide to the right and up. There we go. She is pretty plain, and what is kind of nice about starting with this platform, again, is that it's kind of already built up. So cable management will actually even be easier, where I don't have to like kind of build up the sides. So one of the things though that I know is potentially going to be a problem is, let me grab it. All right, so one of the things with this case is we've got our hinges. Our hinges right here have to be secured on here while giving us that support we need. What I'm seeing on both sides is it seems like they've got a reinforced piece holding on both of these. From what I could tell, this is obviously a very thin gauged metal. I don't think it's aluminum. It would actually, yeah, no, that's not aluminum. That's just a very thin gauge metal. So these barrel brackets, though, we're gonna have to figure out the positioning of them, and then most likely, because of the weight of the water in the radiator itself, I'm gonna need to ensure that they are reinforced properly to support that weight, and we don't get any kind of bending on here as well. So what I'm seeing on the case is we can probably enforce it internally with a square, a little bit thicker gauge steel, and then kind of just put that all the way around, so that this way there's more, you can see I'm just barely flexing it already. So we'll just tidy that up, make it a little bit more rigid, and then maybe even tie, I don't think it's necessary for the weight of it once it's actually hanging and centered. So yeah, let's take it over to my engineering team and see what they say, and I'll go from there. But what I do want to do is get rid of these guys so that I can try to get this to flush mount a little bit more. So I will be cutting that right now. All right, show this off just a little bit here, but that's about the orientation that I'm thinking. I think the next real move here will be to get the water block on here, the mono block on the board, get the water block on the graphics card, and then kind of set this up. What's nice is that the radiator brackets, you can see right here, is lining up with this second line. So what I could do is just loosely put some screws in to hold this guy in place. But from when I just went ahead and quickly cut this right here, I'll just use some dikes real quick, and then I just bent the pins back. What I'll do though is I'll obviously come back in here with a grinder, get it all nice and flush, and then I'll shave it down. So we'll end up repainting this guy once we're fully done. But then we'll also determine, I think, as long as I can get away with it, I'm going to leave as much structural in the center to obviously, you know, I want the wall mount to be as strong as possible. When you start cutting away right here, this is the wall mount, Versa mount right here in the back. You don't want to actually take away any rigidness from the case itself. However, that's why I was talking about that square frame earlier. Yeah, I think that's where we're at. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to block this guy now, which will allow me to really kind of play with, you know, the fittings going in and figuring out where our tubes are going to be just as mock-ups. Right now, one of the biggest things is I'm technically in line with the default mounting points. So if you kind of look, I just pushed over just a little bit and came straight down. So this is how far we are off that. I will probably have to hold this up and mock and see how much clearance and what's behind here. I don't want to cause any extra heating behind there unnecessarily. So I might still punch like a small hole there if I actually can afford to. Otherwise, the one thing I was looking at that's kind of worrisome is where does my power cable go at that point, because there's really no more room here. So that's a logistics issue right now. A couple different things I can think of doing, and that would be to raise the block up just enough so that a power cable could be coming through right here, and then the power cable would actually route through this guy and just go cleanly in there, which would save me from braiding the cable and just go straight black and just leave it as is without even having to braid or attention to detail, and maybe I'll just braid like 4 inches of it. So I have all the tools to actually braid individual cables myself. So yeah, I haven't even considered what cables might actually be showing other than potentially the GPU. So those I was going to probably just order from Cable Mods, but we'll see. We'll get there. We just have to keep clearance and cable clearances and maintenance thoughts in mind when we're doing this, especially when we're hooking everything up, because if I don't have everything mounted where it needs to be and then you go to hook everything up, it's, well, you can get fucked pretty quick. So anyways, let's continue. Let's block this. All right, so it's about 2 days later since that last clip, and I was gonna put the blocks on, but we did not, and here's why. I started looking at this a little bit more, and when I had the motherboard, this is the right orientation. When I had the motherboard in place, I'm coming all the way to the edge, and then I started thinking about where the radiators were gonna sit. We'll get to these aluminum pieces in a second. And I was looking at it, and I'm just basically holding it right now about where it should be. But that's about where I was like, oh yeah, you know, that looks pretty bitchin'. This is overlapping. However, I realized real quick that I had the motherboard right here, and this motherboard is larger than these brackets. So as you can see, they would essentially hit. So that wouldn't work. So I had to start figuring out, all right, how am I gonna get these spaced out on here? And I'm glad I took the time. I ended up going down to one of my locations where we do manufacturing, and one of the engineers there, we got to thinking, we were like overcomplicating it. He goes, U-channel, use a U-channel. So here it is. I got some aluminum U-channel, and I've already done some of the work. I'll throw a little clip up, but I had already cut it. Just took a quick clip of me doing it, but I cut these to size. I bought a big ass 8-foot piece that's basically what I could find at my local Lowe's. What I've done is I've already marked one hole here, and I've had this actually, might be hard to see, but you might be able to see with the way the light's reflecting, so good thing I don't have the other light, but you can see that I marked where it was actually sitting. So basically I had this guy sitting here on the side right here. We took out one screw that's literally right here for the feet, which is a reinforcement corner. Took that out right here, and now we are literally, I think the camera, I'm gonna be like, this shit's all over the place, but anyways, you know, POV. So we took the screw out for this one brace right here. This aluminum should be thick enough. In fact, it's thicker than this actual steel of the case, because this is definitely just really thin gauge steel. So yeah, it's gonna work just fine. So what we're gonna do now is I am gonna tap this aluminum hole, but before I do that, I'm gonna make 5 more marks, because I picked up I think I've picked up a 1032 screws with nuts, a nut 10, they're in the garage. But basically we're gonna do 5 on each side, which should be plenty with a washer on the back to add the rigidness back into it here. So I'm gonna mark that, get those drilled, and then we're gonna get it mounted here. And then I'm gonna mark the holes from the case. Sorry, I said that backwards. We are going to literally mark the case first. We're gonna mark the case first, using this hole as the liner. That's what I meant to say. And basically I'll just, you know, 1, well, 2, 3, 4, and 5. right? We'll mark that. I'll drill these. I won't tap right now because I am gonna get that extra thread in there, especially for this one right here, so it's a lot stronger since it's going through another steel plate right here. And then we will mount back the aluminum, and then we will mark it with a Sharpie right there. And then we'll take this back off, we'll drill the aluminum, and then once that's on there, we will mark up our wing nuts, that's not it, our wing brackets, whatever, fucking brackets, whatever. Anyways, yeah, this is a long segment, that's what we're doing, so let's push forward. No blocks in this video, blocks in the next video. Alright, so I didn't bring the camera out, but we've got the holes drilled here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I've got this piece actually mounted right back up on here, the aluminum piece, using these 2 clamps. And as you can see, like I was saying with the bracket back here, kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can zoom in here. If it'll focus. Yeah, it actually is. But you can see, yeah, there it goes. You see we got our little mark down there. So, sorry. There it goes, cool. Zooming in right there. Anyways. Got our little mark from the initial one, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mark these with a Sharpie, or pull this back off. We'll drill the aluminum, and then I will run the tap tool through, and we will put our hardware in, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so now that we have, vacuum that all up in a little bit. Now that we have our holes drilled and tapped and obviously successfully threaded, we are good to do the mounting. So I already went ahead and tapped the case as well. You can just take a step back so you can get as much as you can in there. My lovely wife is filming, but you know, no guarantees on quality.
Oh.
A 1/2 inch. So that's a 1/2 inch right there. And then what I went ahead and I also did was got a nut for more strength, more durability. I'm not going to put it on because we need to finish these pieces. But we know it fits, we know it works. This is perfect. What I am going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and get all 4 other screws in there just to make sure, because the next thing we have to do is put the wing on. We're just going to call it a wing. I'm done trying to like extrapolate fucking bullshit names. I digress. Alright, we got both sides done here. Just got done putting these on. Just got to tighten up the nuts here. We did this side a lot better than we admittedly did this side. Trial and error. I could technically recut this angle piece and redo it, but I will not. That's it. I'm just going to paint and we're going to continue with mock-up. So, let's keep going. Alright, so now that we've got the brackets actually on and in place, it's time to work on the wing. So what we've got here is I've got you got your right side, because we're looking at this from top down, so technically this is our right, and then this is our left. As you can see, if you look at the markings on this, fucking beautiful. Look at that. Nice little gap right there. Got a nice little gap right here. I don't know where my focus is. Let me turn my focus to center. There we go. Got a nice little gap right there. If we come over on this side, got a nice beautiful gap right there. And a nice beautiful gap right there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to mark these holes because I'm actually happy with this. So I'm going to take a couple measurements here real quick to make sure that those are aligning. And then we are going to thread those holes and we should be good. I swear these doggos are trying to trip me up. Alright, so where do we leave off? I think I got this done. We've got our barrel brackets rolled backwards now. I went out and I had to get myself a new leveler because I couldn't find my old leveler. It is what it is, but this one's cool because it's got magnet, so this worked out because it's sticking onto the steel. So what we did was we took our fancy ruler and I made sure that we got 1 inch basically between each barrel bracket. Oop, that's centimeters. just to show you what's going on here. So we got an inch, hard to see right there, but I promise that's an inch. Got an inch. We've got inch up here. We got an inch up here. This is level. This is straight. These are good to go. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to mark each one of these holes, and then we are going to tap. I spent some time yesterday looking for my old taps because I knew I had them. Since I did that, I had to do a bunch of custom tapping on there. So I knew I had my taps and all my tools and all that good shit. So I got what I need. This is a 632. So we will pre-drill and then we will tap those holes. And then I went on Amazon last night and I was able to get some 632 Allens sent to me. These are just shy of a quarter inch, I believe. I forget exactly. Maybe I did 5/8. That looks about right, 5/8. Anyways, I know these will be enough. So we got everything we need. Had to do some other checking on here, but yeah, pretty much everything computer-wise, just for reference, is a 632. So your motherboard standoffs, yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, bye. All right, we're all tapped up. Let's go drill. What?
I just took this part out and there's a whole bunch of...
Well, these are your friends.
No, they're not.
They're your friends.
No, they're not.
They want to play with you.
They're not.
Tapped, and tapped. Let's see if it all lines up. Otherwise, that's my... I have more aluminum. Can't think lately. By the time I'm done with work, I think I said this in a past episode, by the time I'm done with work, I can't process words. So my tree is dying. I am not good green thumb, you know. First wing is on. Let's go with the second wing. Here we go. There we are. Boom. Success. We have built and accomplished exactly what we were trying to accomplish. Got everything all mounted up. Everything looks good. Can fold her in here. Take a look at the back. There's our hardwares. There's our sides right there, nice and clear. Try to focus that in a little bit. But yes, that will do it. So now I'll take these guys back off, and then what we'll do is we will clean up and prepare. I'm probably just gonna rattle can this. I don't see a reason otherwise. However, I don't think there's a reason to clean up and prepare just yet. The next thing we need to actually do is start mock fitting all the hardware in place for where it's gonna go. And if you guys are curious, these barrel drums are actually, can be tightened right here. So all I need to do is just yank this down, and this will actually hold it so I can adjust this. There's adjustment there, adjustment here, same on the left, or the right in that case. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I don't know, I gotta get in the editing software and see. I really don't know where I'm at. I know I'm super behind. I just released a video today about the TIE fighter setup over there, but yeah, finally got some motivation back to get this going again and not let that sit there. So I was messing with a lot of AI stuff, and I just kind of went down this rabbit hole where didn't really need the new hardware. Like, honestly, I don't fucking need this upgrade, but it is going to be nice. But what, the 500 series RTXs are coming out in Q4, so I mean, it's like, fuck. At the time of this video, it's April 1st, so yeah. Anyways, I've been rambling. Let's get out of here. That's it. This quick build series. If you're still here, that's cool. Thanks a lot. Like, comment, subscribe, join Discord, play some Helldivers. Current game flavor, Helldivers. Peace.